billions in sports. The sports professor, Rick Horrow, joins Rock and Manooch on Fox Sports 910.
So the Motor City is set for tonight's NFL draft. One of the latest sports spotlights in a downtown that has been rejuvenated. A city that has hosted a couple Super Bowls, a Final Four, multiple championship series across all the major sports. But it's been a while since they've had a Super Bowl, which was 2006. It's a different place, but today they get to showcase their city coming off a great Lions 2023 season. And joining us to talk about the business side of sports is the sports professor, Rick Horrow. Rick, why didn't you go to Detroit? I mean, you're at every big event. Is Detroit just not your style? Oh, my gosh, you're on TV right now. Wait. Your Icons is on. There's a weather delay in a baseball game, and now we actually are watching you on Bally's, I want to say, Kansas City. And there you are, Rick. Wow. What are the chances, Rick?
I'm a national celebrity. So who is the lucky person enough to be interviewed today?
They didn't post his name.
His name was Pat Battle.
Yeah, there he is.
Yep, there he is.
Yeah,
right there.
Sure. Yeah, we got to work on your attire, dude. Yeah. Come on, that golf shirt, that turquoise shirt with the brown jacket.
Listen, first of all, don't be dumping on me. Second of all, I'm a national celebrity that didn't expect this. Okay. Third of all, once I get a parking space for you on a regular basis, you can start putting me in any wardrobe you want. Okay. Fourth of all, I just forgot. I mean, there are three. That's enough. That's enough arguments. Am I? Would I want to go to Detroit? Here's my plan. I went to the Rays and Tigers yesterday. It was a good game that nobody saw. This morning played a marvelous course called Citrus Farms, which is a new development by the same people that do Cabot up in Nova Scotia and a couple other places. I'm about 5 minutes away from Amalie Arena. Going to go see the Panthers tonight.
Wow.
Got the Magic and Heat. I mean the Celtics and Heat Saturday. So I decided to hang around Florida and stay here from place to place. I've got a question for you. Supposed to be the guy. Yeah. Well, no, it's one of those things that I just heard from your beginning. So everybody uses rejuvenate. Are downtowns juvenated first and then rejuvenated? I've never heard of juvenate.
Well,
right?
Come on.
Yeah.
Detroit has had a tough history. When the 2008 should I said revitalization, would that have been better?
That'd be very good, Rock. It's a big word.
No, it's a good word. I'm not. God knows, I'm not criticizing you for your language use because it would be a constant source of irritation. I mean, but I would say that you are right on in Detroit. I'll tell you a quick story. When I was doing all the NFL stuff, and it was different strokes for different folks. I was in as a league guy, and some guys wanted me to be running their process, and some just wanted advice. And Bill Ford at the time was running the Lions, and he was the heir apparent. He is the heir now to Ford Motor Company, and he ran the company like he runs any business. Very well thought out, forthright, and the advice was: should we rebuild at the Silverdome up in Pontiac, probably a little cheaper, or do we become vitalizers of downtown Detroit? And I said, it's not my decision, but I think you, if anybody, ought to determine what the right thing to do is. He made the decision on Woodward Avenue there, got the Tigers to be across the street, got the Little Caesars near it, and when you look at Detroit now, a lot of it was that fateful decision to tell the Lions to not only come back downtown, but build a dome. Chicago is now talking about billions of dollars, including a dome. Probably should have done it at Soldier Field in the first place. They'd had 4 or 5 Super Bowls already. Minnesota did it. They got 2 Super Bowls, one old, one new. Green Bay in that division did not do it, but they're a museum. It's a little bit different. So, obviously there are many decisions that owners make. They can make or break a city, and Detroit and Bill Ford, basically 2 for 2, A downtown and B a dome.
Well, it seems like a lot of cities did that in those late 90s, early 2000s. You think of Denver, you think of Phoenix, kind of, as you mentioned, revitalizing a city with sports and putting those domes and those stadiums, bringing them back to the city versus the outskirts. And I like the decision by Chicago to potentially put their new facility and retail down there on the lake.
Yeah, and it's funny because I was involved in that on a volume scale. We did 23 of them in between the mid 90s and early 2000s, and it's now like a car that Paul Tagliabue to Bill Ford. We were talking. You said, you should have. We need to do stadiums like you do cars. Every 5 years, you need a new one. Well, every 20 years, you need a new one now when the financing runs out. And so, obviously, you see the Diamondbacks doing that stuff now, too. But the Cardinals have had a great run. And it's interesting because all the stadiums that were opened in 2000, 2001, 2002 that I was kind of directly involved in are now coming to the end of their first lease. So everybody's thinking about tinkering with them or building a new one or relocating or adding stuff to it. And you're right. They used it as a basis to help promote other sports as well. And obviously that's a big deal.
And we always talk about economic impact with the Super Bowl and the Final Four and all the big events. So when you look at these cities hosting the draft, we were at Nashville several years ago when they drafted Kyler Murray. What kind of impact on a scale is it 25% of what a Super Bowl would be or a Final Four? Where does that in comparison when you get all those people coming into that downtown area, that city?
Yeah, it's a pretty good comparison. Maybe 40, maybe 35%, 40%. And you know why? It's because in the Super Bowl, you do have people coming in from other cities, but they're corporate entertainment-oriented people. The main people coming in for the Super Bowl are from two cities, and the AFC and NFC champions. For the draft, you have less people for each destination, but everybody comes in. And it is a big deal for Nashville, big deal for Cleveland, big deal for Kansas City, big deal for Detroit. Next year, Green Bay. And I got to tell you, the guy, the poor schlub who was out front for the Radio City Music Hall, and his role was to extend the deals they currently had. And then the NFL said, we want to get out of our league. We're going to test the waters. Go, test the waters. Well, I don't know where that guy is now, but I'm sure he's not running Radio City Music Hall events today.
So, Rick, here we are. We're at Twin Peaks in Tempe. It's one of the biggest. They have probably 100-plus televisions here. And since it is a rain delay with Kansas City, and there's not a lot of afternoon games, you're everywhere. I mean, you are getting some eyeballs today, big fella. I mean, this is great.
Yeah, no, I know.
Do you look forward to weather delays because they run your show more?
God, yeah. Oh, and afternoon games because they're over, and the pitch clock because the 1 o'clock, whatever time zone it is, now are usually over 4. There are a lot of fillers, and I am classic. When you look at me, what do you think of? Filler. I am, just call me filler. I mean, and it's perfect because from Valley's perspective, these interviews are evergreen and they are top people and they're easy to slide in and good. Well, now Kansas City is now learning a lot more about minor league baseball. Pat Battle, Bill Battle's son, he was huge in the SEC, and I don't know if you know about Pat Battle, but he runs all of the now DBH, which runs minor league baseball, and teams now. They have about 40 of them, and he also came out of a collegiate license. So he and his dad kind of invented and monetized the business of collegiate licensing. And if you will wait for a rain delay in Phoenix, although I know there's not a Valley issue in Phoenix. I get it. I understand that, but it's almost everywhere in the country. And if you want,
1 minute,
I'll send you the link on a regular basis. As a matter of fact, what I did is I had my producer do a remedial version where everything's cut down to like 1 or 2 syllable words. So I'd be glad to send it to you guys.
Yeah, you got to dumb it down for us in Phoenix.
We'll get it then. That's for sure.
Yeah, for sure.
Rick, we know you're extremely busy. It's so refreshing to be able to do a radio show and look at you while we're actually doing the show. It's interesting. I don't see any advertising behind you. We got to work on that. We need to see maybe some Red Bull or something. I see a Masters head cover. That's all I see.
No, listen, you guys. I'm waiting for the phone to ring. That's all I got to say. So yeah, that's we've had we've had that conversation. The phone has clearly got a ring, and if I could teach you a few things, all the better. And I am really excited to continue the ongoing effort, just like it is in the old days when it's just the two of us on the phone. You ask me a question, and I answer what I want to answer anyway, regardless of the question. Now you see me on TV answering your question that has nothing to do with you, but it's kind of the same drill.
What
See,
did he
now,
just say?
now I'm hoping they don't replay this episode again right after because the weather delay goes too long.
Yeah.
Yeah.
See you, Rick Filler Horrow. Rick Filler
It's a cool
Horrow.
all over the country, rain everywhere.
Oh,
Rain
good
everywhere.
stuff. You could make.
Thank you, Rick.
Oh, good. See you, Rick. Thank you.
What are the odds?
Rick Horrow joining us. Rick the Filler Horrow. Hey, what do you think about that?
It's
Good nickname.
good.
Is it better than Rampage Jackson, who's
Oh,
going to join us
no.
at 3:00?
No,
No.
that Rampage got
Looking
some
forward
meat
to
to
that.
it. Got some intensity to
Hey,
it.
it's Football 50 next. Got a lot of stuff we want to pass along. It's